You've been told to take it slow, to be patient, to trust the process, but here's the truth. If slow and steady worked, you wouldn't be watching this video. You've been grinding for years, you've been tracking, training, and showing up, and your photos still look the same. No visible progress, just more frustration, more explaining why you're still working on it. What I want to tell you is it's not a discipline problem. It's a broken system. Your impatience, it's not a weakness. It's a feedback signal. And it can be your biggest advantage if you use it the right way. Let me show you how. All right, guys, you need to stop playing the long games. A lot of people have been, fitness is a marathon, not a sprint. You have to be patient to see results. But there is some truth and some myth to that. One of the biggest things that you need to understand is there is a such thing as waiting too long for results. And what happens to a lot of you guys is that you try to implement very, very small changes over a very long time, see no results, and get so demotivated that you wind up actually giving up, or you're in a worse mental place than before you even started your fitness journey. You guys have this thing that I like to call the participation trophy problem. And so what this means is that you think that, oh, just because I got a 10-minute walk-in every day for this month, that means that my body is just going to magically transform. Or I was determined to clean up my diet. I cleaned up my diet a little bit. I stopped pigging out, but maybe that wasn't enough for me to see the results, especially when you're comparing yourself to some of these physiques that you see online, where these people are doing hours and hours of work dedicated to changing their physiques, and you're thinking that you can do maybe one, maybe two things that will change your physique in a drastic way. And that's really not the case. The truth is that you want to have gradual progress that is too aggressive in the sense that you will burn yourself out, or you create so much of a deficit that it wreaks havoc on your hormones, or it does all these other crazy side effects. But on the flip side of that, you don't want to go so slow that you're really tapping in on discipline and you're really tapping in on all these other intrinsic motivators because your motivation tapped out a long time ago. So you want to make sure that you're seeing enough results that you're able to step on the scale, you're able to look in the mirror, and you're able to go just off of, okay, I looked good, or I looked better than I did last week, or I looked better than I did 2 weeks ago. Trying to just say, I'm going to eat healthier and not see any changes, eventually you're going to break. That motivation is just going to wither away, and you're just going to say, why am I doing this in the first place? So the key to this is to, instead of treating it like a marathon, sprint, go all in for 60 to 90 days, and then focus on maintenance. I want you to have a deadline, have a goal attached to that deadline, and then go all out. Don't just think about, oh, I'm just going to, clean up a little bit here, clean up a little bit there, and I'll see where I am, in a few months. No, I want you to say, okay, my birthday is in 3 months. I want to lose 10 pounds. I am going to track my calories. I am going to walk 10,000 steps. I am going to go to the gym 3 days a week, and I'm going to hold myself accountable to those 3 daily goals. Then you just go all in. You will see results after the first 2-3 weeks, and that will motivate you to stay the course for the rest of the 60 to 90 days versus, telling yourself, oh, when I tracked how many steps I was getting, I felt good. But that is a lot harder than saying, hey, I wanted to lose 10 pounds over the next 3 months, and the first month I lost 3 or 4. That is going to keep you going. You know what it feels like to lose 3 pounds. You know how hard you worked versus I never tracked steps before. I don't even know what 10,000 steps, if it's good, if it's bad. I don't understand that metric. I definitely don't understand attaching a positive feeling to hitting that metric. Go all in, see yourself make these changes, see yourself look different in the mirror, and then you can start to peel back and say, okay, what does maintenance look like for me? What are some things that I can do differently? What are some things that I need to do in order to maintain this? You don't need to track all your calories every day in order to maintain. You don't need to walk 10,000 steps every day in order to maintain. You might want to go to the gym 2 to 3 times a week in order to maintain, but you don't have to do some of these things in order to maintain. But you need to go all in order to get to that place where you are able to maintain. And then once you're at this place where you're in maintenance mode, you've hit your goal, you can then start the identity shift. You can then say, I realize that in order for me to maintain, I need to be that person who is getting 10,000 steps a day. That needs to be my lifestyle. That needs to be my identity. And it's easy for me because I've just been doing it every day for the past 60 to 90 days. So that's where you lock in the identity. Not in the beginning. Be the different person, and then you can much more easily tell yourself, hey, I'm this person. Versus trying to tell yourself, and you know you're lying to yourself, and you still love sweets, and you want to get back to drinking on the weekends as soon as possible once you're done this diet. Once you have that in your mind that that's the type of person that you want to get back to, it's very hard to get through it. And then once you get to that point, it's very easy to make that decision. Do I want to go back to that person, or do I want to continue to be the person that I have been for the past 60 to 90 days? So your impatience, you look at it as, hey, like, I'm just an impatient person. I have ADHD. I have, zero discipline. Instead of looking at it that way, look at it as a part of your feedback. Notice that, hey, I need to change some things. If I'm eating a little bit healthier, if I'm walking a little bit more, but I'm not seeing the changes I want, you can always go harder. You can always do more. And so that's where you use impatience as a tool instead of a crutch, instead of something that's holding you back, instead of saying to people, I could do it, but I just wasn't patient enough, or I didn't have enough discipline. You can say, okay, I'm not seeing the results I'd like to see. Let me take this opportunity to go harder. Forget the long game. Sprint hard for 60 to 90 days. Stack visible wins and then shift to maintenance mode. That's the system that works. Here's the truth. You don't just shift your identity mid-journey. You become the person who stays in shape only after you become the person who got in shape. You don't build belief with slow progress. You build it when you finally cross that finish line and become the person who has the results, not the one who's still trying. If you're ready to stop waiting and start seeing results, go ahead and download my 5-day reset guide. It walks you through the exact steps to take to stop spinning your wheels and finally start seeing results.